Make these fluffy and soft donuts in your next gathering to impress your friends. Golden brown on the outside and cooked perfectly in the inside. Let me introduce you to these ingredients that make the wonderful, fluffy and airy donuts that everyone is thinking was store-bought. A cup of warm milk to my bowl, 2 teaspoons of yeast, followed by my sugar, which the yeast is going to feed on. I will stir this. I'll then cover this and allow the yeast to bloom. This will take about 7 to 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Let's see how this is doing. This is exactly what we're looking for. The yeast has fed on the sugar, and that has caused all these bubbles. And this means the yeast is ready to go to work. 3 cups of flour. I'll pour that in. I'll then add my salt, my egg. I'll combine all of this. In order to be able to knead the dough, I'm going to transfer this to a work surface. I'll powder the work surface first and transfer this. I'll begin to knead this. At this stage, the dough is very sticky, but it's going to come together. I'll then add my 2 tablespoons of butter and work that in. I'll knead until this comes together, and usually this will take about 10 minutes. The dough has come together. It bounces back when you press it in. Oil my bowl and then transfer this into the bowl. So cover it to double in size or proof for about an hour. It's been 1 hour and the dough has risen like so. I'm going to punch it to release the air inside. You roll out the dough and ensure it's not too thick. This is the thickness I have. Now I'm going to cut the edges just to make my dough even. I'll trim this on all the sides. Ensure my donut come out even. I'm going to be using a ruler to do my cutting. I will measure 1.1. I don't know if that makes sense, but you just watch what I'm doing. You pinch and roll. Roll. Okay, when you get to the last part, you try and make it thinner and pinch it to the others so it doesn't undo during frying. I hope that makes sense. When you finish, you have to place this on a parchment paper so you can still retain the shape after frying. Another important tip is when rolling, do not make it tight. Give it some room because it's still going to increase in size, so don't tighten it. And always remember to make this place thinner and seal it up before you place on parchment paper. Seal it up by just pinching it like so. We're going to cover this now and let it rise for about 10 minutes before frying. Heat your oil. You place your donut with the parchment paper into the oil. Placing the donut with the parchment paper will also prevent the donut from collapsing. Ensure to keep an eye on the donut. Ensure the heat is not too high so the donut can cook all through. When these donuts are still hot, you can dip them with sugar if you like to have them with sugar, or you can have them just like that. Yes, our donut is ready, and this is how it is inside. Golden brown on the outside and cooked perfectly in the inside.